In this presentation, you are going to learn about Stokes' law and its applications. When a body falls through a viscous medium, it drags the layer of the fluid immediately in contact with it. This produces a relative motion between the different layers of the liquid. Stokes performed many experiments on the motion of the spherical bodies in different fluids. Look at the clipping. Here, 4 liquids are taken: water, corn syrup, oil and honey. Now we are going to drop a spherical body through all the 4 liquids one by one. Here, when the spherical body, when it is dropped through the water, that spherical body, it reaches the bottom very quickly. But in the case of honey, the same spherical body, it is moving very slowly. Why? Because the viscosity of the water is less, but the viscosity of honey is more. It shows that when the spherical body moves through the liquids, that liquid, it applies a force in the upward direction. That is called as viscous drag or viscous force. When any foreign body, when it tries to move through the liquid, here that liquid does not allow the body to move through the liquid. It shows that some opposing force is acting against to gravitational force. Here, that viscous force is otherwise called as frictional force. That viscous force can also be called as viscous drag. In the case of water, the viscous force is less. In the case of honey, the viscous force is more. Here, to calculate the viscous force, we have to derive a formula. That expression was given by Stokes. The name of the force is called viscous force. The expression for viscous force that can be obtained by Stokes' law. Otherwise, it is called as Stokes' formula. In the next step, we are going to derive the expression for Stokes' formula. Now we are going to derive the expression for Stokes' law. By using Stokes' law, we are able to measure the viscous force acting on the spherical body when the spherical body, when it is moving through the highly viscous liquid. Here the thing is, when the spherical body, when it is moving through the liquid, its velocity could be taken as v. Here, that viscous drag, that is acting in the upward direction. When any foreign body, when it is moving through the viscous liquid, what will happen? There will be a frictional force acting on the spherical body due to this liquid. So therefore, this liquid, it opposes the movement of the downward movement of the spherical body. That is called viscous force. The expression for viscous force that can be obtained by Stokes' law. Here, the radius of the spherical body can be taken as r, and since it is highly viscous liquid, this liquid is having a quantity called, what is this? Coefficient of viscosity. All liquids, they possess their own coefficient of viscosity value, that is called eta, and this liquid, either it could be maybe castor oil or glycerin or whatever it may be, their coefficient of viscosity to be taken as, what is this? Eta. Understood? Now we are going to derive the expression for Stokes' law. So what to be found out? Viscous force. That viscous force, that is directly proportional to 3 factors. First one is that viscous force is directly proportional to, the first factor is that r. What is this? R. What is r? Radius of the sphere, metallic sphere. Understood? The second factor is the same viscous force that is directly proportional to velocity of the metallic sphere. When it is descending down, that metallic body will have a velocity. So viscous force is directly proportional to, what is this? Velocity of the moving body. The third factor is the same viscous force is directly proportional to coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. Are you clear? So this viscous force that depend on the 3 factors. Are you clear? So here, first we have to test whether, is it clear, this relationship is correct or not. Now we have to check it up with the help of dimensional analysis. Is it clear? Now on an assumption we have written, but we have to test it. How to test this? Usually any equation that can be derived or that could be checked with the help of the dimensional analysis. So we will write all the dimensions, is clear, in the equation. First, viscous force, that is to be written in the LHS side. Viscous force, its dimensional formula is mLT power of minus 2. Understood? Is directly proportional to introduce a constant k here. On the other side, clear. Now, after introducing the constant, we can write it as that equal sign. Okay. So, what is the first factor? Radius. So, radius can be written as its dimensional formula is L. And the top, clear, we have to write the power, that is nothing but x. It's a dimensionless number. And then what is the next factor? Velocity. Velocity, the dimension of velocity is Lt power of minus 1. And the dimensional constant, clear, y can be written at the top. And what is that? Next one, eta. Its dimension formula is ml inverse t power of minus inverse. So at the top, what should be written? Z must be written. So all the factors are written. You know how to derive the final expression. Are you clear? Using dimensional analysis. That one already it has been taught in the first lesson itself. Now after solving the values of x, y and z, finally you will be getting the value as x will be equal to 1 and y will be equal to 1 and finally the z value will also be equal to 1. Substitute all the factors. Are you clear? Finally, we have to introduce a constant k. The value of constant is 6 pi. Are you clear? So, finally, after writing all the values, finally what will happen? The final expression will be f is equal to k, is it clear, r and then v eta you will get. Substitute the value of k here. F is equal to 6 pi r v eta can be written. This is called the Stokes formula. Are you clear? So, by using this formula, we are able to calculate the viscous force experienced by the spherical body when it is moving through the highly viscous liquid. Therefore, by knowing the value of radius of the sphere, by knowing the velocity of the sphere, by knowing the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, we are able to calculate the viscous force experienced by the spherical body. Are you clear? So, this particular step is just to check it, is it clear, whether all the factors are directly proportional to which one, viscous force or not. For that purpose alone, this step is introduced. Finally, it is concluded that viscous force is directly proportional to radius, viscous force is directly proportional to velocity, viscous force is directly proportional to coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. So, that is the final conclusion, this is the final formula. So, whenever if you want to use the expression for viscous force, immediately you have to recall the Stokes formula. So, viscous force that is obtained only from which formula? Stokes formula. So, this particular law is called, what is this? Stokes law. Okay. Now, we are going to learn about the practical applications of Stokes law. Here we are going to see how the rain is formed. Since the raindrops are smaller in size and their terminal velocities are small and they remain suspended in the air in the form of clouds. As they grow up in size, their terminal velocities increase and they start falling in the form of rain. Stokes' law also explains three more things. The first one is flotation of clouds in the space. The second one is how larger raindrops hurt us more than the smaller ones. Look at the video clipping. Here, a raindrop, it hits on the sandy surface. Here, the raindrop, it creates a larger impact on the sandy surface. In the third example, a man coming down with the help of a parachute acquires a constant terminal velocity. Finally, he is landing on the ground safely.